Hello. Welcome to Port Misery, a GH podcast where we try to figure out why everybody in Port Charles is so miserable this week. It's Tara, y'all. I'm gonna be so real with y'all. I did not want to record this week. It's almost Thanksgiving. It's almost the end of the quarter, and I was like 10 seconds from being like, I'll just leave a note. But there's a good chance that next week I'm just gonna be like, I'm not recording. It's only 3 days. And it's Thanksgiving. It's a holiday. Yada yada yada. And because it's 3 days, I might still just do it. And so I figured if I didn't record this week, but then I recorded next week, I would be giving myself 8 days to regale. And so I said, fuck it, whatever. I could just do an extra chaotic podcast. Because why, who cares? Who cares? So many of you have told me on different platforms that you don't mind the format. You kind of just want to hear my chaotic thoughts about the show from this week. And so I was like, I can give such a superficial rewatch where I just sort of scroll through and see, like, oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, that happened. And try to Frankenstein an episode. And so this is going to be titled the We Choose Crime edition of Port Misery. If you know, you know. But a lot happened this week. So much that it's like almost impossible to put people into their requisite hospitals. It's almost as if this show is operating the way it should be. Where all the stories are folding into each other. I mean, I could potentially like have Black Hospital by itself, but no, because the entire town is trying to put Portia in jail to save their respective loved ones. It's fucking crazy. Um, but I mean, there's just so many like moments. I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll just come on and give like, oh, here's the like three big things that from this week that I really, really liked, make it really short. And then when I was making that list, I ended up having like 15 things. And so we're going to go through all of them and see how much of this makes sense. But let's start. First thing I want to talk about is I am so happy that Ava is team Lucas, you should move to Spoon Island with a white East African warlord and not Carly. That's gonna work out so good for my girl once all this shit comes out, because I don't know if y'all noticed, like if you have not been watching, they have shifted Latino Sun from like on the periphery of the fucking shenanigans to like dead center of the shenanigans. He knows all the things. He's reporting back to his dad. He's just a part of this. Like, there is no way for him to feign ignorance and be like, well, I didn't know I was going to get this deep. Like, he has to know that there are radiating puppies somewhere in Windermere. And like, also, why did you move your doctor boyfriend into Windermere while you're irradiating puppies with your dad and this nondescript European butler? Like, what the hell? But I'm so happy that like Ava is needling Lucas about Carly. Like, ooh, Carly is so terrible. She's so bad. She doesn't support you dating this man who is lying to your face, gets off on lying to you. He's lying to Lucas. He's lying to himself because he truly thinks he's the good guy in this. He thinks he's the good guy in this. And the crazy part is that Whitey's African warlord knows that they're not. Like, he's under no fucking illusions that they're the villains in this story. But like Latino's son is like, it's Sonny. He killed my mom, who I didn't even fucking like, who was doing homophobia to me and my partner, who I'm moving into this castle with me, to hope that he doesn't run into the puppies being irradiated. But she was doing homophobia to us up until like 12 hours before she died. But oh, I'm so fucking mad about it. We ain't heard a thing from Blaze. We ain't heard a thing from Blaze. Blaze said, well, you know, sorry that happened to you. Sorry that happened to you. I'm on tour with Ricky Martin, and now she got her own tour. She's huge in South Korea. Like, which I refuse to believe anywhere else. Just because like K-pop is so big, like they don't need Blaze in South Korea. Like, maybe if she was big in Japan, but like, whatever. I'm doing too much thinking. But like I said, I love that Ava is like this. Like, you had a scene this week where Carly runs into Lucas on the elevator and he's like super mad. I mean, I guess she was kind of out of pocket when she was like, does he even like you? Which is rude as hell. But it's like a legitimate question because all of this is so weird. It's so weird. I can't even say it's moving fast because, like, what is time in Port Charles? Like, they run the same day for like 3 weeks and then jump ahead a month and a half, right? And so who knows how long they've been together? They could be together for 2 years for all I know, knowing how this show works. But, Carly's worried because this man's a white East African warlord and everyone seems to know that, including the voters of Port Charles, except for Lucas. Lucas is like, Latino son isn't his dad. He lives with his dad. What? That's like being like, Michael lives at the Q's, so not with Sonny, but if he lived with Sonny, that's like saying like, yeah, he's not like his dad. Of course he's like his dad. He's in the middle of Mob Hospital right next to his dad. And so, yeah, Lucas, he is like his dad. Because his dad is out here, like, Lucas essentially is saying he does not believe all these people, including Laura. Like, and so I love that. I love that. I hope we go back to knowing that the Jerome side of your DNA is trash. And you can move forward from that, Lucas. We can move forward. We will let you back into Mob Hospital. We will not forget. We will not forget. But Mob Hospital will save you. We will extricate you from this situation and we will welcome you back into the fold. Apologies need to go around. I need a personal apology to Sunny. But we will not forget. We do not forget. We forgive, but we do not forget at Mob Hospital. Moving on. So let's go to Black Hospital really quick. It's the only thing that can kind of be by itself. Why is everyone so suspicious of Portia, but not Curtis? Like, everyone is like Felicia, Alexis, you all know you don't have a reason to suspect Portia. She's not even under investigation with the PCPD. But Curtis is, and he doesn't have an alibi. And now the story seems to want to shift to Jordan is his alibi. But I have the episode, there's images and everything on that episode where Dante comes to Curtis and Portia's house, interviews Curtis in front of all of the Ashfords, and he says, you don't have an alibi from when Drew was shot. So once more, why are we putting up Portia and not Curtis? Now, obviously, it's so because we know that Portia does have an alibi, right? She was banging Isaiah. And so obviously, this is just some backwards way for that tea to come out. But, like, what? Why not? Just have her do the DNA test and then choose shenanigans and just let Curtis think that it's his, even though it's not. Like, essentially pull what Liz did. Like, remember back in the day when Liz ran up them 15 flights of stairs in a blackout to go bang Jason? Got pregnant. But then Lucky was all like, ooh, I'm an addict and my sobriety depends on this baby being mine. And so she let that rock because she didn't want him to fall off the wagon, which girl, you don't have to do that. Like, if some man tries to say that his sobriety is on you and your uterus, fuck him. To be honest, like, Lucky, fuck you, bruh. That shit's on you. If you want to be a crackhead, if you want to sell your ass for pills to Maxie Jones, don't put that on me and any of my organs. All right? Leave me and my uterus out of it. All right? If you want to be a hoe, a druggy hoe, that's on you. And so I was mad because, one, obviously because it came between Jason. I'm going to be so serious. Like, what the fuck, girl? And at my big age of 38, looking back, I'm like, ugh, look at me being annoyed. This hasn't even happened yet. But I just imagine that they would have, like, Portia find out it's Isaiah's and then let Curtis think that it's his because he's, like, already falling in love with this kid. You have this scene where Curtis is now all of a sudden being nice to Portia. He's like, Stella knows about your pregnancy and she thinks that we should be a family. Portia's like, no, like, we don't like each other. Stella's an older Black woman. Of course she thinks that. But no, but you could tell that Curtis is kind of down. He's like, ooh, yeah, now that you're having my baby, maybe we should It's annoying. It's annoying. You don't need to give this man a baby. Fuck him, Portia. But everyone is suspicious of Portia. Even Trina. Like, she has this moment, she calls Kai. She's like, oh my God, I'm so mad at Jordan for coming between my parents. I want to tell them that we destroyed the evidence, because if we tell them, then they're going to get back together. Girl, how does that work? How did you get there? How, like, I don't, 2 plus 2 does not equal 4 on that one. Like, the math is not mathing on that sort of conclusion. But then she kind of shifts over to, like, what if my mom did it? And so you think your mom was just shooting Drew downstairs while you were hiding in a bedroom? Why does everyone think Portia got this, like, dog in her? It's crazy. How many bodies has Portia caught? Like, what are we talking about? You also have, like, Alexis had asked Felicia. Felicia was going on work time to, like, investigate Portia. She tells Alexis that Portia was, like, visiting Monica like twice a week, and that's how she could have got the gun. But they still don't know why Portia would have done it. Right? They're like, I don't know why she do that. Rick shows up. And he's like, I'll tell you why Portia would have done it if you get Danny to turn himself in and help Rocco. We're going to get to that story in a second. But like, Alexis is like, no. And then, okay. And so Rick tells her that Portia was the one who switched Heather's tests. And like, does he know that Drew was blackmailing her over this? Like, how did he figure out? I guess, like, he's just drawing. He's like, yeah, maybe Drew figured it out. I don't know. I'm just very confused at why we're suspicious of Portia. Like, how did this happen? This is, and not Curtis? Portia? Okay. Okay, leave my girl alone. This is why I let her do whatever she wants, to be honest. Because, like, everybody's getting away with everything on this show except Portia. Like, Portia, like, sneezes funny, and everyone's like, what the fuck is her problem? It's like, get behind me, queen. I'm not on my watch. I won't allow it. And I'm definitely going to be your life coach, coaching you to not let Curtis, have a baby that's not his just because you feel bad that you let Taggart have a baby that wasn't his. You're like, well, I let Taggart have a baby that wasn't his. I guess gotta give one to Curtis. What happens when Isaiah finds out 20 years from now? You're not going to still be fertile. You're not going to be able to give him somebody else's kid, Portia. So you got to break the cycle now. But that's Black Hospital. Like, there's a moment where Jordan visits Laura. She's a loser. She's a loser. She can't find anything about Whitey's African warlord, but she found out Portia was pregnant, and like after one awkward tea party, she was like, clearly she's pregnant. Could be no other explanation for any of this. And so that's Black Hospital. Let's go over to Delusional Hospital for a second. So Willow's out of jail. Willow's out of jail, and she wants to be helpful to her case, which Alexis tells her is by sitting down and shutting up. Like, sit down, shut up, or the bunny dies type stuff. And like, don't go see Michael or them damn kids. Willow's like, oop, too late. Too late. And then just tells her how she blatantly broke that court order. She was like, yeah, I just got out of jail and I heard that my mom had Wiley, so I said, fuck it. Girl, this is why I don't understand why everybody's so on her side. I don't understand why everybody's so on her side. Because she does shit like that. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's so cute. That just proves that she could never murder somebody. How? She's hard-headed. She's hard-headed. She doesn't want to follow the rules of society if the rules do not align to like her own personal beliefs of what is and isn't fair. And so what about that type of person doesn't give potential to kill? Like, that's all I'm saying. They just take all of her annoying shit as like these quirky, like, oh my God, she's just so quirky and lovable. She's a menace. She fucking sucks. And she's like talking shit like, Michael had my baby around this hooker. You moved his children in with his uncle when you were still married to him. and he was across the ocean, recovering from burns. You moved both your kids in the fucking house with him. You were still wearing your wedding ring. Fucking psychotic. Psychotic. But you're upset that Michael had your son eating a hot fudge sundae with a sex worker? Girl, glass houses. Glass houses. Like, nobody looks at Willow like this girl who was in a former sex cult, right? Like, but her and Nina just cannot wait. And I'm okay. Okay, let me give some grace. Let me give some grace. Let me be real. I get that she has her own beef with random sex worker because she like walked in on random sex worker with Drew. And like everybody been saying, he chose to do that. Like, yeah, he was on drugs, but he could have just went home and slept it off. Instead, he was like, let me do body shots off a sex worker. Wasn't even thinking about Willow. Wasn't thinking about you, girl. So, like, some men, if they were randomly drugged, would be like, I don't feel well. Let me go to the hospital. Or I don't feel well. Let me go home. He said, let me get a sex worker and do body shots and then take her home and bang her in the bed I share with you. That's what he said. That's the decisions he made. Okay? That's all I'm trying to say. But Michael and the sex worker are bad. And so she's like, I just want to help. I just want to help with my case. Alexis is like, nah, if you want to help, tell me where you were that night. Willow is like, I was just driving around aimlessly crying in the rain. Girl, miss me with this. Miss me with this. How are you driving around? So you're just bawling your eyes out. So that's one amount of liquid in your eyes, blurring your vision. And then it's raining. And so that's another. So you were just choosing to drive. She is a menace. She's a menace. She's trying to take out as many people in Port Charles as she can. She's going to blame them all on Michael. Michael made her do it, or Michael did it himself. He stole her car and ran all these people down. Because what are you talking about? Like, oh, I was just so upset, so I was crying, so I couldn't go back to work, so I just started driving. Alexis is like, did you drive past Drew's house? Did you do that? She's like, no. Yes, but no, I didn't. I just drove aimlessly and then I came back to the hospital and just decided to let Nina give me a fucking alibi, even though I don't fucking like her. But I thought I was giving her an alibi, even though once more I don't like her. None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense, and no one will call it out. They're just like, she's so lovable. She's a good mother. She just wants to be with her kids. Stop it. Stop it. But like, Alexis is like, thanks, Queen. Thanks for nothing. And Willow leaves. The next time we hear about her braggedy fucking case, it's with Chase. And Chase goes to see Nina at the random, hillbilly bar that exists in Port Charles. And essentially learns that some random sex worker was the random sex worker for creepy council person. Now, sidebar. Nina straight admits to drugging Drew, and Chase is like, none of that matters because I'm not on the clock. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm pretty sure if you were off the clock at home, sitting at the table with Michael, and he said, hey, you're off the clock, right? I did shoot Drew, and I am framing Willow. You would take Michael down to the PCPD right fucking now. Immediately. Right to jail. But Nina is cool. Nina gets a pass because you gotta save Willow. This is why this story for him is so fucking bad. It doesn't come across as heroic. It doesn't come across as romantic. It doesn't come across as gallant. It comes across as corrupt cop. It comes across like this is the exact same thing you did with Nell and it ruined your fucking life. And so, unless the story is that she did shoot Drew and she's just letting Chase take all this shit and like risk his career and his marriage and his family on a lie, keep it. Keep it. Because I don't want it. This is stupid. This is stupid. And like, I mean, there's some people who are capping for him, but like most of the people I see out in these streets fucking hate this. They fucking hate it. They hate everything about it. They don't like it whatsoever. Like, I'm sure the Chillo fans are loving it, but those are few and far between in the spaces that I inhabit. And so most of what I see are just really pissed off people who are like, fuck this man. What gives him the right? And so he runs into creepy council person. Now, creepy council person had just lost the election. We're gonna get into it. It's crazy. The people in Port Charles said we choose crime. We choose crime. Actually, we love crime. Like crime is the number one moneymaker in this town, and so it's so funny. So many criminals have run through, like, it's like having a lemonade stand at this point. But he lost the mayorship, the mayoral race, and he goes to find a random sex worker. Literally in the middle of a day with Michael. He's like, yeah, girl, fuck him. Let's go. Like, let's go. I need you. She's like, nah, I'm busy. He's like, whatever he's paying you, I'll double it. There, I'll triple it. Okay, because I'm having a bad night and I need you. She's like, he's not paying me anything. We are on a date. I don't do that anymore. He's like, once a hoe, always a hoe, girl. Call me when he done with you. And bounces. I was gagged. That's one of the reasons why I was like, yeah, I gotta record an episode because I'm being gagged this week. Because why he say that to her? He said, like, obviously he said it in like a nicer way, but he essentially said, once a hoe, always a hoe. Can't turn no hoe into no housewife. So call me when you done playing house. What? What? Michael was trying to be all gallant, like, ooh, you gotta leave or I'm gonna make you leave. Michael, no, you're not. Because you actually cannot be fighting creepy council person because you are in it too. Willow might be on trial, but you just as in it as she is. And so both the Dark Willow is crazy. This is why, and listen, it hurts me the most. I never thought I would say this. I kind of love Dark Mellow, and I think they can find their way back to each other. I think we could get through this because we're Mob Hospital. This is Pete Carson. This is like the most toxic version of Carson. This is like Sarah Brown and Moe's Carson, just toxic, like toxic as hell. But I was into it. I was into it, and so Michael, you can't be acting like this. Actually, you can't be fighting council people. All right, you not running for office. It's not gonna land the same way with the voters. And so, luckily, creepy council person leaves. It's very funny. Sunny is across the restaurant with Carly, being like, "Michael could have done that shit. Let's be so fucking serious." If I had to choose between Michael and Willow, Michael did that shit. Be so fucking serious. Carly's like, what? Because she don't even care because she worried about Lucas and Pikeman. But like that shit was so funny to me. That shit was so funny to me. But creepy council person, he leaves. He goes to the random hillbilly bar that is just taken over because we learned this week that Charlie's is gone. Charlie's gone. Whitey's African warlord destroyed it. Christina said it can never come back. And so it's officially gone. Goodbye, Charlie's. All we got is the random hillbilly bar. And so creepy council person goes to the hillbilly bar. Chase pretends to be a fan of his. He's just like, yeah, fuck Laura, fuck Sonny. I thought you should win. And after that, creepy council person tells him that he gets sex work with random sex worker and that he was with her the night that Drew was shot. And also he's drunk as hell when he's saying this. So why should we believe anything this man is saying, Chase? Why should we believe any of this? What are you talking about? What's going on? But he's like, bet. Goes to Alexis. Like, Alexis, I talked to creepy council person. He said that he was with Jacinda. Alexis is like, okay. And so what's that got to do with anything? Chase is like, what do you mean? Alexis is like, he just gonna say that he didn't say that. And then even if you got him to agree with you, random sex worker will say that she didn't do that. And now we got a he said, she said situation. Like, what's that? How does that help Willow? And even if we got her, even if we blew up Michael's alibi, it doesn't stop the fact that Willow was found with the weapon. And so, like, all of this don't fucking matter. Like, why can't y'all just stop trying to do my job and just let me do what I do? Like, why are you out here all trying to crash out? Like, Drew crashing out, Chase crashing out. Willow not worth any of this. Willow is not worth any of this. And so, like, you go crash out on your job, you go crash out on your marriage, you go crash out on your family, your friendships, all for this bitch who may or may not have done it. Just because, like, that's the thing. It's like Chase has absolutely no proof that Willow's innocent. He's just like, I feel it in my gut. I got vibes. You're going off of vibes? You're about to ruin your life. The last time you had vibes, it was Nell. And it turns out she did murder that man. And so, once more, why are we doing this with Chase? Why are we doing this with Chase? And if this doesn't end with Brooklyn being like, get out my fucking house, get out my grandmama's house, like go back to the 1-bedroom apartment until I summon you back, then I don't want it. Because like Brooklyn being like, yeah, you're a good man, Savannah, I hope this week turns it around. I hope this week turns it around. We'll get to it. We get to it. But essentially, Chase tells Alexis that he's on the case. Like maybe she can't use that, but he's going to continue to destroy his life, destroy his career, and potentially destroy his marriage for whack ass Willow. And so that's happening. Another little straggler, just because it's straggling there and it's so uncomfortable every time they make us watch it. How long is the Carly Pikeman honeypot gonna last? Because I am deeply uncomfortable by it because like she hates that man. Like she hates that man. And it's like she went to go honeypot him and bring him some wine and they're talking and they start making out on the couch and he's like necking her and she looks like she's being assaulted. She looks like she's being assaulted and I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't know if there is some type of direction we could give where she doesn't look like she wants to vomit until she leaves his presence. But like, having her look so disgusted with him when he's on top of her, um, it's triggering. It's not, it's just very uncomfortable. I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know if I'm alone in that. Maybe you're like, no, this is good. We need this is the necessary context that we need. So we'll never forget that she hates him. For me personally, I just hate that. I hate it. I don't want to see it. Just have her constantly out of town with Valentine and her Lisa Loeb wig, to be honest. And the connection to that, we did not get a resolution to the Carly Joss issue with Lucas. Like you had that moment where she was just like, don't do like you know that he's bad. And then we don't actually follow up on that. It's just like it cuts to a scene with Carly and Lulu in the aftermath of Rocco. And so I kind of hated that. But you know what? Let's go to Rocco's hospital, all right? The rest of the episode is dedicated to Rocco's hospital because Rocco's hospital took over several hospitals. It took over Law and Order Hospital, Mob Hospital, Spy Hospital, Young Adult Hospital, like all of the hospitals. Technically, it took over Black Hospital because now people are dangling Portia's freedom in exchange for Rocco's. It's actually wild, but let's go over to Rocco's hospital. So, like I said, we don't get the like resolution of Carly and Joss because we see Carly and Lulu. Now Lulu's freaking out because of what happened with Rocco. Rocco got they said they had new evidence, essentially came from Y&R crashed out. That's the best way to like frame this, that he crashed the fuck out over this kid and Laura, like one meeting with Laura and he's like, I'm crashing out. But he frames Rocco, makes it seem like he trashed this lab. And so Lulu's freaking out because like the only ones who can really prove that Rocco didn't do that are Danny and Charlotte. But that would mean implicating Danny and Charlotte. And we get a really great scene where Lulu realizes that the dilemma that she's under, like, is essentially what Carson and Jason were dealing with Michael. And like, when they turned in Michael, Dante and Lulu, they were super sure that everyone was going to understand what happened. It was Carson's fault. It's not Michael's fault. And no, Michael was the one who paid the price. The judge was like, fuck all y'all. He going to jail. How about that? Like, how about that? And so I liked the allusion to that. This, like, shit, here we are again. It's a huge decision. I don't know what I'm going to do. And, like, do I risk my daughter to save my son? And then what if it's not? And of course, Danny, because she doesn't, do I risk Danny and Charlotte to save Rocco, or do I condemn all three? It's a real, and they deal with that sort of, like, obviously we see Lulu is the first one to think about it, but eventually Jason, Alexis, and Dante are gonna be in on this, like, dilemma of, like, do we sacrifice the two kids who aren't in it for the one who is? And so it's actually quite crazy. I love that it ended with Carly hugging her, just being there for her. Like, they've clearly moved past that, as they should. I just really, and this is the crazy part, because I think I was so used to Babe Carey on All My Children. Like, Alexa Havens is so good in this role, because, like, she made me forget that she didn't play that part, that was, Julie Marie Berman in the role when all that stuff went down with Michael. Like, I was like, oh yeah, man, I get, you would feel that way. And then I was like, she wasn't even here for that. She was Babe Carey when that shit went down. No, I think she was already off All My Children. Whatever. Y'all know she used to be play Babe. Y'all know that. But she's doing it. She's killing it. She's killing it. Like I said, this does not mean that I am like Team Lulu or yada, yada, yada. It just means that I think she's doing an excellent job. Like, she gives Lulu, right? This is the main reason I've never referred to her as, freaking Babe Spencer or, Lulu Carey. Like, she's just Lulu Spencer. She's killing it. But you have that moment with them. You have Gio and Emma deciding to, like, confess. Now, I'm gonna be this is for me, right? Y'all can have whatever opinions y'all want. I respect all opinions. All opinions are valid. For me, I did not care that Britt yelled at Emma or that Dante yelled at Gio. They both needed to be yelled at. I said when they got the kids involved that shit was dumb. Why would you get these kids involved? These are minors. These are minors. They have even less developed brains than y'all. Like, you got them all hyped up on these, like, irradiated puppies. Like, Rocco didn't even want to steal the key fob from Britt. And you were like, but the puppies, bro, puppies. Be so fucking serious. But, and, like, the main thing about, like, why I'm like, why are you even telling them, is because, like, what does this do? Like, what does telling Dante that you are the one who got Rocco involved in this, what does that do to help Rocco? It's not for Rocco, it's for you. It's so you can hear Dante be like, oh, it's not your fault, son. That didn't happen. So Gio and Emma run up to GH to go confess for no fucking reason. Britt immediately snatches up Emma, like, hey girl, we gotta talk. And so she tells Britt or Britt tells Emma, like, girl, I know it was you. I know that you're the one who got these little kids involved, got them to steal key fob from me. Girl, what the fuck? What the fuck? And Emma's like, I'm gonna break your wrist. Like, I'm saving animals and da 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 da. Rocco does his own thing. Why are you here? What? This is my question. It's not to Emma, it's to the writers. Like, if Emma is very sure that Rocco makes his own choices, he chose to be there, she didn't drag his ass anywhere, then what the fuck are you doing here confessing to Dante? Is that what you about to tell Dante? But yeah, I told him about it, but I didn't force him to do shit. He has his own beliefs. The 15-year-old has his own beliefs. Be so fucking serious, Emma. Be so fucking serious. But that doesn't even matter because then they have Brit like revert to be like she takes her saying that is like, oh, he tricked me. He never wanted to spend any time with me. It was always to get the key fob. And then Emma has to be like, nah, nah, nah. He really does like you. What is this for? Like, what is this for? What is this? Now they're like kikiing with each other. But okay, I say all that to say is that I get why Brit's mad, and like Brit being a shit bitch doesn't make her wrong. That's what I'll say. And then Dante going overboard about the drinking 6 months ago doesn't make him wrong about what's happening right now. Because Gio runs up and is like, I'm the one who got him involved. And Dante fucking loses it. As he should. As he should. He's like, oh, so you don't want to show up to family gatherings, but you'll get him involved in felonies. You ain't got no problem doing that. Knowing that like he want to be around you, he considers you his family, but you only call him when it comes time to break the law. That's when you have time for him. Brooklyn is like, no, he said he was sorry. No offense, Brooklyn, but what does that have to do with anything? Him being sorry not gonna get Rocco out of jail. So like, once more, who is this for? What does this do? And so Dante's going off. Emma rolls up and she's like, it's not even Gio's fault because I got him involved. So Dante's like, oh, so you threw your brother under the bus to impress a girl? So you did all that shit for her? And here's the thing. Yes, he did. Like, this is the thing. Like, Gemma is very cute and I like them as a couple, but that does not blind me to the fact that they have been completely out of pocket this entire time. This entire time, they have done things that are so outlandishly stupid that were never going to turn out right. Like, y'all were always acting dumb, putting your own beliefs, your wants, your ideologies ahead of anything and everything, including the welfare of other people. And now these are the consequences of that. These are the consequences of you being so blindly motivated on some shit. You don't even have all the information. You don't even have, you're like, I'm definitely going to find what I need to find in this lab. Jocelyn took a 10-minute conversation with Kane from Y&R and learned that lab's not even on PCU property. Emma been doing this for 6 months. Had no fucking clue that man had a different lab someplace else. But she felt confident enough to get minors involved. And Gio, knowing that one of the minors was his younger brother, said, cool. I love that plan. Let's go. So yes, Dante and Britt have every right to read them for fucking filth. What are we talking about? Y'all were old enough to get these little kids involved. You're old enough to get read for fucking filth. What do we mean? And so I was team Britt and Dante. And so none of that even matters. Because like I said, they had Britt end up being like, oh my God, does Rocco like me? And now Emma and her got a kiki over that. And then Dante, because he was with Brooklyn and Brooklyn was capping for Gio. And he was like, bruh, get away from me, bruh. Like, walk away from me before I say some shit I'm gonna regret. But later on, when he's with Lulu, he's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I don't know if he cares about Rocco, but then also maybe I hurt his feelings because I'm his dad. And she's like, oh, I'm mad at Gio too, but we gotta, you guys gotta, be nice to each other. Some bullshit. Some bullshit where if Dante and Gio never talk to each other again, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. I will say everyone this week named Michael Corinthos was coming through for Brooklyn though. Everyone named Michael Corinthos. Michael Corinthos, the second and third, were like, "Hey, Gio, go talk to your mom," and then he did. Like, I'm gonna throw Michael Corinthos the first in there. I want to think that Mike's ghost was standing there and head nodding, sending out good vibes to his great grandson. But both Michael Corinthos, 1, 2, and 3, made sure that Gio and Brooklyn made up. And now this will be controversial to the Brooklyn fans. Listen, I love y'all. I love y'all. I do not share all of y'all's opinions, but I do love y'all. And, not but, and, and it's crazy to me that Gio called her mom. What the what? Bruh, like we could just start with like, I'm talking to you, we're friends. But he's like, thanks, mom. He's just throwing these like terms around. Like, Ned got to be grandpa when he was like, you know, having a heart attack. Sonny got it pretty much immediately. And now Brooklyn gets it because she said it was fine that your brother caught a case on your back. I'll go with it. I'll go with it just to make this stupid Geo story end. Right? Like, if now they're mother and son, they love each other, he's gonna be a part of the Quartermain like fold. He just beefing with Dante. I'm fine with that. I don't care about that. But I will say that shit happened so quick. That shit happened so quick. There's no type of, completely unearned, and not because Brooklyn didn't do anything to earn it. Just, I mean, like, as a writing thing, it was like the writers said, "We're done with this," which, you know what? I was done with it, so I'm gonna go with it. This is gonna be the only time I bring it up. Like, I will continue to be annoyed every time he calls her mom, but like, this will be the last time I bring it up, just because I have been begging for this storyline to end. And in the final moments of me, vocalizing my displeasure of all this, there's just storylines that have, like, Carly and Bobby, they took years to get to the point where Carly was comfortable calling Bobby mom unsarcastically, right? Sam and Alexis. There's just like the fact that he was like, he had it in the freaking chamber ready to fire it off at her. I'm just like, this is just like, you guys are tired of it. I get it. You're like, we're sick of writing them this way. Fuck it. Him and Dom have this sort of good back and forth off each other. And now we've given them actual conflict where, he can feel some type of way about how Dante's reacting, but Dante's not necessarily wrong. Fine. We'll do that. I'm cool with it. I'm just saying that shit happened so quick. That happened so quick. And so, moving on, let's go to these kids. So, I'm gonna be so real with you. I'm like, y'all need to start beating these kids because they are hard-headed as fuck. They don't listen to y'all. They do not listen to y'all. They don't care what you think. They do not care. They don't care about consequences. They don't care about hurting people. They're like, they operate like Willow. Like, I gotta do what I think is right. I gotta operate in the ways in which I feel are fair, regardless of how that affects other people. What are we doing? But Danny and Charlotte just show up to the PCPD. They do not call anyone. They do not call a lawyer. They do not call their parents. And they're just like, we're here to confess. We're here to confess. Okay. So Nathan is like, okay. And he takes them in. They give their confession. He's like, bet, give me a sec. Goes and calls all their fucking parents. Just calls all their parents. Now, like I said, some people already want them to confess. So, like, Lulu was talking about it with Carly. Rick was talking about it with Alexis. Like, you got to get Danny to confess. Also, Britt went to Jason and was like, you got to get Danny to confess. And Jason was like, no. Absolutely not. Michael went to jail. He got essayed. My son's not getting essayed. Fuck all that. Sorry, Rocco. Britt's like, I don't want Rocco to get essayed. And he's like, listen, we got to stop it, but I'm just not going to put my son on the line. Like, I'm sorry, girl. Carly would got to know too. Like, Carly would got to know too on that. Like, I'm not sending my son to jail. Fuck you. And so eventually he gets the call from Nathan that Danny's crashing out. Dante and Lulu get a call that Charlotte's crashing out. Rick is like, bet. Love that shit because that helps Rocco. Sunny's kind of like, yeah, Danny nor Charlotte are kin to me, so I'm good with it. Dante is the one person who's not related to Danny or Charlotte biologically, who's like, yeah, I'm not gonna just let them crash the fuck out. What are you talking about? Like, no, we don't even have a guarantee that if they came forward, that people would believe them. So, like, fuck that. Eventually, Sonny gets Dante to listen to Rick. And plus, it don't matter because, like, Charlotte and Danny are so hell bent on crashing out. Like, even if their parents tried to stop them, they probably, like, posted on fucking Twitter. Like, yeah, we broke into that lab too. That man's a liar. Like, you know. But I mean, eventually they decide, like, okay, Danny and Charlotte will confess, but Alexis gonna be there. Alexis showed up. It was so funny. Alexis like, Danny, so I never thought I would have to say this to you. I was hoping that I wouldn't. Never fucking talk to the cops without an attorney, my guy. And when I say attorney, I mean me or Diane. I don't want to see Martin Gray up in this bitch. All right. Don't you fucking dare. Don't you dare call Latino's son. If I see Rick Lansing in here, like if I see Rick Lansing, it better be me or Diane. And I was like, you know what, Alexis, you right. You right. Let your grandson know. What the fuck is this behavior? I can't believe this. And Danny was like, my mom will think I was doing the right thing. Danny, I've known your mom longer than you have, right? I've known her way, way longer than you have. Sam would not approve of you talking to cops about an attorney. You little hard-headed thug. Like, get out of here. Stop. Call an attorney. Don't talk to no cops. I don't care if they're ghosts. Even if they're a friendly ghost like Nathan. Hell no. Stop it. But whatever. They agreed to, like, turn themselves to confess to help Rocco. Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. Because now we got to go to election day. Now, I was very sure that Laura was not going to win. I was like, she's not going to win. She's out here slapping people, cussing them out of the polling place and shit. But I totally forgot that Kane from YNR is Australian. He's not even American. Like, so she was cussing out a foreigner, which I guess in Port Charles we don't care about. But both Sunny and Laura won their freaking elections. Because remember, Sonny, his peers were on trial. Everyone said, you know what, Sonny needs some peers, okay? That's private property. We cannot just be taking this criminal's property just because we upset. He paid for those peers. And you know what? He be getting us libraries. He be buying hospital wings. He be donating to the kids. He does a lot. All right, he does a lot for us. And so if he needs to move fake purses, if he needs to do a little bit of crime, then we need to support that because he's our king. And we need, because it's not even 4 more years of the peers. Like, those are just his peers now. We need infinite time with Sonny Corinthos. He can keep mobbing. We don't want him mobbing in Rochester. Because, like, Jason was like, ooh, if we lose, we can go to Rochester. Port Charles said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We are not moving to Rochester. We're going to stay right here and do our mobbing. Mob hospital indefinitely. That's what the citizens of Port Charles said. They said, we choose crime. We choose crime here in Port Charles. And the mayor, Laura, she supports that. She supports that energy. And so we need 4 more years of her. Because I would rather take a criminal who's in my face being a criminal than this white East African warlord pretending to be straight. Pretending like he's not a criminal when he's a whole ass white East African warlord. Don't play in my face like that. Don't play in my face. And so they both win. They both win. Drew gets his face cracked because Drew has shown up to Laura's office to be like, I want to look you in the eye when you lose. And then Jordan busts in like, girl, you just won. It was very funny. It was very funny. And so Drew's face cracked. We love to see his face cracked. But none of that matters. None of that shit matters because white East African warlord is unchained. Like, he's so unchained. He's so crazy. So this week starts with him finding out that Kane from YNR crashed out and, framed Rocco. And he was just like, all right, I don't know why you're doing all that. I don't know why he getting the cops involved like this over some kid who gives a fuck about this kid. Like, what the fuck? Then Britt keeps showing up. Britt keeps showing up to Windermere like, you need to handle Kane from YNR because he got my not son caught up. and I can't have it. All right. Like, I'm the only person you need in this place. Like, that man don't contribute nothing. I'm the one doing the heavy lifting here. So don't tell me about this medicine. You need me more than I need this medicine. If I go crazy, then you can't do the project. And so she's pretty much just highlighting to white East African warlord that she's more valuable than Kane from YNR. And she's kind of right, because Kane from YNR is messy as hell. He's messy as hell. So he starts this week getting into a big ass fight with Laura at the polling place. Now, just a shout out to my friend Susie, because she lives like on the Pennsylvania New York border, and she knew that like there is a sign in the polling place that's like register here. And apparently New York is not a state where you could do same day registration for voting. Like, you need to already be registered or you can get the fuck out of here. But like I just wanted to point that out, because my people on the East Coast, they called bullshit. I'm on the West Coast, and I don't even know if you could do that here in California. I was not sure. But people from the New York area, like, they knew. They were like, nah, 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 nah. That's not how that works. So I just wanted to point it out. But they're at the polling place. Laura is with Liz and with Nathan. She's asking Nathan about Rocco. Did Rocco do okay? Because, you know, he got sent to juvie. Nathan is like, yeah, he's doing okay. Here comes Kane from YNR. Why is Kane from YNR even at the polling place? Sir, you are not American. You cannot vote. So why are you even here? It's like you just came here to cause mess. Like, how you even find her? How did you even find her? But he found her at the polling place, starts just screaming about how her grandson trashed his lab and how he's going to go to jail. Laura just starts reading him for filth. She's just all like, you framed my grandson, you piece of shit. I know you framed him. My grandson wouldn't do nothing. It's just real convenient. Like, you came out here manhandling my grandson, talk about he broke into your lab. You didn't tell anybody that he touched anything. That's an interesting thing to leave out, bruh. Like, oh, now all of a sudden that everybody's lying, you didn't let the police come in because it was dangerous. And then now it's all trash. Like, I go by your word. I don't. I don't. And he goes to like turn his head, and she slapped the shit out of him. She was like, look at me. It was crazy. She said, look at me. It slapped him. It's like, Laura, let me say right now, Nathan and Liz ain't shit. Because listen, if I'm running for office and I'm at the polling place and I start crashing out, reading somebody for filth, slapping them, I expect my friends to stop me. I expect my bestie to get involved. I expect the woman I consider a daughter to get involved and be like, girl, maybe we should go. Like, he not worth it. Or at least to start reading a bitch with me. Right? If you not gonna stop me, at least read him with me. They just stood there. Nathan stood there like he was trying to give good vibes to Laura. Like, yeah, I like that shit. Read his ass, queen. But Liz was like gagged once more. Like, I swear Liz just live on this show to be gagged. She lives on the show to be gagged because she's never allowed in any storyline. She's on the periphery of every storyline, but she don't get to know the tea of any of them. And so she's just being gagged. Nathan's being gassed up, but no one's helping Laura. They're just letting her crash out. Cause like, here's the thing. Like, say Tracy from Sunday Shift's running for office and I'm just with her and she start crashing out. I'm gonna first try to get Tracy out of there. I'm like, Tracy, you know what? Let's go. He's not worth it, girl. He's not worth it. But if that fails, I'm gonna start beating his ass. I'm gonna make it so Tracy got to get me out of there. I'm gonna crash out. Like, I'm gonna take this bullet and crash out harder to make Tracy look better because she gonna be good for the people, right? She running for the office, not me. So I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna punch him in the face. Like, I'll put hands on him. I'm not gonna let Tracy put hands on him. So I'm side eyeing Nathan and I'm side eyeing Liz. Why? But whatever, it did not matter. None of that matters because everyone in Port Charles saw Laura crash out and like physically assault a foreigner, and they said, "We love that. We love that, queen. We love that." Like, Sonny had come to Laura's office to tell her that he loved it, and he thinks everyone else loved it. He's like, "Look, girl, I'm queen of this town, or not queen. I'm king of this town. I'm king of this town, and I'm telling you, the people love that shit. They love seeing you crash out." Turns out they did. Because she won in like a fucking landslide. She won in a landslide. Because when she won, Drew was like, ooh, that's quick. It must be a fucking blowout. And then it was Laura. It's like, Laura won like, she won by like 70% of the vote or some shit. It's so funny. Like, yes, yay. But also now I gotta apologize. I said she was gonna lose. Like I said they were both gonna lose and they did it. Everyone said this mobster gotta keep his peers. Laura gotta stay mayor. Laura gotta stay mayor. And so came from YNR crashing out. Came from YNR is crashing out and he goes to the random hillbilly bar. Now, Emma sees him. She starts cussing his ass out. Now, before Emma showed up, he was with Joss, who was there with Dollar Tree Dex. But Joss sees came from R&R. She's like, let me run up. She tries to gas him up, like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Like, ooh, you're gonna win a Nobel Prize. And he lets it drop that his lab, his real lab, is not even on PCU campus. It's like it's a different lab. It's clearly at Windermere. It's where they're irradiating the puppies. But Emma comes up, she started cussing his ass out. Like, I know you irradiated puppies, and I know you lied about Rocco. And he looks like he's really about to put hands on Emma. He looks like he's about to slap the shit out of Emma. I was like, what's going on? And it's not Gio that gets involved, it's Dollar Tree Dex. Dollar Tree Dex like, bro, I'm from the WSB and I heard you were radiating puppies, can't prove it, so I'm gonna need you to come down so I can talk to you about that. Right? Cool. It's so, what do you got? White East African warlord came from INR and goes to White East African warlord. And he's like, look, so the WSB on me, the mayor on me, Mob Hospital on me. I need you to clean that shit up. Clean that shit up. Britt starts reading his ass down because she already there. She's like, bruh, this your fault. Because why you even have to do that to my not son? Why'd you have to do that? All you had to do was let him go. All you had to do was let him go. His parents would have grounded him or some shit, and none of this would be happening. You wouldn't be beefing with Laura. You wouldn't be beefing with Mob Hospital. You wouldn't be beefing with the fucking spy hospital. You wouldn't be doing any of that, right? But you had to crash out on the kid. And so this your fault. And by the way, nobody needs you, bruh. We don't need you. You a loser. You suck. I can do your job and mine. And so kick rocks, deuces. And like White East African warlord at that point is like, I couldn't agree more. And then shoots his ass in the she didn't shoot him, she shot him in the and you're just like gagged. Gagged. And so Britt started freaking out, like, ah! Why you do that? And he's just like the same thing he be telling everybody, like, cause you asked me to. Cause you asked me to. Like the same shit he told Latino's son, the same shit he told Drew, that like you told me that he was betraying me. Why are you acting surprised? Why are you acting brand new? Like, what you mean? You should have known that this is how it's gonna end. Like, and by the way, this is put you on notice. Put you on notice of what happens to you if you fuck with me, because I'm not the one. I'm not the one, girl. I'll shoot you in my house. I don't give a fuck. And so, nondescript European butler, get your ass down here. She sees that it's nondescript European manager from the evil Sandal Resort in the Balkans. And so now she freaking out even more. Like, bruh, he tried to blow me up. He put a ankle on my bomb. Like, he put a bomb on my ankle. What the fuck are you doing? And why this African warlord is like, bitch, you knew what time it was. You know what time it was. Come on now. Now, I am now confused about how included Britt is on this. It now seems as if like she was just snatched and had no choice in this. If that's the case, cool. It's a better storyline for her than just being like, I just didn't want to see y'all be sad. So I fucking peaced out. But now it's seeming like she was trying to just take herself out the game. And then Whitey's African warlord got involved. That's what it seems like now. We're gonna have to monitor the situation as the storyline evolves. But Whitey's African warlord is like, this my second in command, nondescript European butler. He's gonna drive you home. And so he takes Britt home and pretty much is like, don't like let this be a lesson, bitch. Like, don't cross us or you gonna get gone. He is also so funny. All the Europeans are hilarious on the show. He was like, because she was like, you tried to kill me, and he was like, it was nothing personal, and he was like, yeah, it was. He was like, yeah, it was, girl. You were annoying as hell. I'm sorry. But be less annoying. But she's freaking out. She is freaking out. Um, but the big moment, the big gag, because we got this dead man. What we do with the dead man? Obviously, we put him in Laura's trunk. He put Kane from YNR in Laura's trunk. Gagged. Gagged. It was crazy because I thought she was crying in her car because she lost her. I thought she was crying in her car because a man she was publicly opping with is dead in her trunk. I could not have guessed. I could not have fucking guessed. I really was worried the story ended or started with like everyone thinking it was Sonny, because they like had Sonny threaten to fucking kill this man like 1,100 times to anyone who would listen. And now he's dead. But because of how it was done, Laura knows that Sonny didn't do that because Sonny wouldn't put the body in her trunk. And so Laura, she gets a flat tire. She's like driving to her like acceptance speech or whatever, because she just won the mayoral race. And she gets a flat tire. It's like a nail in her tire. She pulls over. She goes to like get the tire to change it because she's a real queen, right? She's like, I'm not calling AAA. I don't need a man. I'm gonna change this tire myself. Goes to change the tire, and came from YNR's in the trunk. She freaks out, like, which is understandable. I watched the show with my friends, and some of my friends were like, "Why is she screaming like she brand new?" She just found a dead man in her trunk, and she was publicly opping with his ass. I'd be freaked out too. I'd be freaking out. But she's freaking out. She's like, who do I call? She goes to like call Kevin, but he's in Dublin for reasons none of us understand. Who cares? He's there. Like he chose to be there when she's running for mayor. Whatever. We know he's he's in DC over at Beyond the Gates. But can't call Kevin. Calls Natasha Cassadine, because that's my headcanon. Yes, it's under Alexis Davis, but we're really calling Natasha Cassadine, right? Natasha not available. And so she calls, we don't know. Doesn't show us who she calls. She's waiting in her car. Who pulls up? Nathan. Now, when I first saw that, I was like, I know you're fucking lying. I know you're fucking lying. She did not call the PCPD. That's crazy. Definitely does not straight calling fucking Ghost Nathan. But she didn't call him. He just saw her pulled over. He's like, oh, you got a flat? Like, let me change that for you. What? Because she got a dead body in the trunk. So right before he can see the trunk, Sonny shows up because that's who she called. So Sonny is like, oh my God, like, you know what? I could change the tire. I got this under control. Detective West, like, don't even trip about that. Nathan starts to be like, look, if we both change the tire, it could get done twice as fast. But then he gets a call for some crime happening because, we all just voted for crime tonight. And so obviously crime is afoot. And so he's like, sorry, y'all, I got to go handle that. And so Sonny looks at Laura's like, okay, why am I here? What's going on? She nudges over to the trunk. Sonny goes to the trunk because she does have a flat tire. He goes to the trunk, opens the trunk, Kane from YNR's in there. Kane from YNR's in there. And so Sonny's like, okay. Calls Jason. Now Jason had decided to go run up on Britt because Danny and Charlotte told Jason and Nathan. So I expect Nathan to run up on her ass next week. But like, Danny told Jason that they got that key fob from Britt. So Jason goes to Britt like, girl, what's going on? Like, obviously, you were in on whatever the hell came from Wine I was doing. The lady from that was working with him went to the Evil Sandals Resort. You were at this Evil Sandals Resort. You were in a lab. Now you got a key fob to a lab here. Just tell me what's going on. Britt is like, I can't tell you what's going on unless you prove to me that you're going to choose me over Mob Hospital. Immediately gets a call from Sunny. Immediately gets a call from Sunny, gets the chance to choose her over Mob Hospital, does not do that. Now, had he done that, he would have gotten all the tea. And so, story wise, I understand why he couldn't have done that because, like, he needs to learn that Kane from YNR is dead organically. But I assume that since he is going to clean up the body of Kane from YNR and the reason he was talking to her had to do with Kane from YNR, that conversation will continue. We're going to come back to whatever the hell Jason and Britt need to talk about. But Britt essentially kicks his ass out. He goes, changes the tire. Sonny and Laura didn't even change the tire. Where are the fleet of tow trucks that we heard about last week? I was so proud of them. I was like, not them bringing up the fleet of tow trucks that Corinthos Coffee owns, and then we don't see it. I really thought that Jason was gonna pull up in a tow truck, but we didn't get it. We didn't get that. But Jason gets rid of the car. Well, he didn't get rid of the car. She got to have her car back. He went to get rid of the body, have the car detailed, so she don't have no evidence. Believe there'll be some evidence left in that car, the general hospital. But Sunny takes Laura back to her office, and she's like, "I'm supposed to go to, my celebration party and all of that." Sunny's like, "Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Were you even supposed to be having that? Because you thought you were going to lose, right?" She's like, "Yeah, but players change." She's like, "Nah. You need to just calm down. Your car's going to be back in your driveway in the morning. They're going to detail that shit. And now we need to strategize because shit's going down. Shit's going down." And they both come to the realization that it's White East African Warlord, that he's pissed off. He was pissed off at Kane from YNR. He's kind of pissed off at Britt. He's definitely mad that he can't control Laura, and now he's trying to frame her. And so I would just like to say I am so proud that Laura has never fucked with Whitey's African Warlord. Neither her nor Anna have ever been team Whitey's African Warlord. They've always been fuck that man. And now he potentially has Anna on lockdown somewhere in Windermere, which is why I assume she is, and now is framing Laura for the murder of Kane from YNR. And so that was the week. It was crazy. A lot happened. I almost didn't record, but as you can see, I had to get it out because so much happened. But yes, thank you so much. Thank you for listening. If you like this, feel free to like, subscribe. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google, give me 5 stars, and I'll see you next week. Bye.